Welcome to the Explainer. So today, we're zooming in on the absolute culmination of your U.S. history roadmap. We're talking about the Unit 09 Lesson 01 mini-project. The specific focus here? Looking inward after regaining global dominance. We're going to break down exactly how you should tackle this mini-project, which basically asks you to investigate those really complex domestic choices the U.S. had to make right after securing a position of just tremendous global power.
Here's our agenda for today. We'll cover your U.S. history journey, the 11-unit roadmap, Unit 1, Colonizing America, Unit 3, American Identity, and finally, your tools for success. It's a great lineup, and we'll see exactly how all these early lessons pull together, specifically for your Unit 9 project.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, your U.S. history journey. To really nail this Unit 9 mini-project, you have to think like an investigator. You'll be digging into three very specific sources for this assignment: Foundations of American Liberty and Revolutionary Governance, the St. Paul Middle School American History Curriculum Framework, and the Formation of an American Identity Unit Guide. Your main goal here is to gather crucial source evidence from these exact documents to back up your investigation into America's domestic choices.
Moving right along to Section 2, the 11-unit roadmap.
Now, while this timeline traces the whole sweep of things from initial foundations all the way to profound civil conflict, our focus today is zeroing in entirely on that final stretch, weeks 29 through 38, modern challenges. This is the exact sweet spot where Unit 9 takes place. We're examining this absolutely critical transition where the nation pivots from an era of outward global power to a time of really looking inward. It's a shift that forced the country to make some incredibly difficult, profound domestic choices for a totally new, modern era.
Section 3, Unit 1, Colonizing America. Now, I want to address a super common misconception right off the bat. A lot of people think the analytical skills you learned way back in Unit 1 just, stay in Unit 1. But actually, for this Unit 9 project, you absolutely must rely on those exact same foundational skills of historical analysis to evaluate these modern challenges.
Let's take that theme of opportunities and conflicts and use it to frame your focus question for Unit 9. For the mini-project, you'll be asking, how did post-dominance America balance new domestic opportunities with internal conflicts? Honestly, every single time you read a source or evaluate a piece of evidence in this lesson, you need to be filtering that information directly through this lens.
And as you try to answer that focused question, keeping track of perspective is just crucial. You'll see a stark contrast here between romanticized historical myth and rational, evidence-based history. In Unit 9, you're going to apply that exact same critical eye to evaluate contrasting domestic perspectives. You aren't just looking at the glowing successes of a globally dominant nation, right? You're exploring the nuanced and sometimes really harsh realities of those domestic choices and how completely different groups experience them. Okay, let's translate these points into your actual Unit 9 project success criteria. To knock this mini-project out of the park, you've got to be able to clearly explain those post-dominance domestic developments. You have to analyze the tensions between different historical perspectives. You also need to connect specific domestic policies to their real-world outcomes. And, this is the really crucial part, you must do all of this by using concrete source evidence straight from those three historical accounts we talked about earlier.
All right, moving into Section 4, Unit 3, American Identity. Let's look at how the themes from this earlier unit play directly into your Unit 9 project model.
This question of how the nation defined itself while expanding and dividing, that is the absolute core theme of your Unit 9 project model. As part of the project, you're going to look really closely at how a post-global dominance America struggled with its own domestic identity. You'll be exploring how the country tried to forge a unified path forward, even while dealing with some very real, growing internal fractures right at home. Now, to effectively analyze this for your project model, you've got to use your key vocabulary. Specifically, you'll be evaluating this intense push and pull between nationalism and sectionalism. You'll be examining the deep tension between having a globally dominant, united front coming together on the world stage versus the intense sectionalism that can pull communities apart over highly localized domestic choices right here at home. Okay, time for a quick student check. As you use your sources to compare early political parties, analyze reform movements, and evaluate massive concepts like manifest destiny, I want you to ask yourself, how are you going to track the cause and effect of these early historical frameworks so you can eventually form your final argument about modern domestic policies? Definitely keep that cause and effect relationship in mind as you start outlining your project.
And finally, Section 5, Your Tools for Success. You've got a really robust toolkit available to you here, from study guides to concept maps to explainers just like this one.
For your Unit 9 mini project, the ultimate goal is to seamlessly synthesize all of these tools with your primary source documents. Basically, you'll take the evidence you've gathered, carefully weigh the varying perspectives, and then use these visual and conceptual aids to organize your thoughts and build a really solid, well-supported, reasoned conclusion.
As you embark on this mini project, just remember that you're investigating how an entire nation redefined itself. Think about this. How does understanding America's past domestic choices, especially right after a period of unparalleled global dominance, actually help us understand the complex domestic choices our nation faces today? Let that question drive your research, rely heavily on your source evidence, and good luck constructing your reasoned conclusion.